support everyone who comes to us and who asks for our support because we are peacemakers.
I'd like to welcome everybody to this press conference as we as a community of La Placita Church support Agustin Aguayo.
Jesus Alberto is the first Marine from Mexico died in this illegal war in Iraq. Today, I have the other son. The other son refused to go to Iraq. The other son they have the opportunity for save the family, save the life, and save the morale. Agustin Aguayo is the first Mexican, American, for say no to the war. I'm not gonna kill the innocent people. I'm gonna save my family.
I am an Iraq war veteran and a conscientious objector. I have come to believe that it is wrong to destroy life, that it is wrong to use war, that it is immoral, and I can no longer go down this path. I have tried for 2.5 years to demonstrate to the Army that I'm a genuine conscientious objector. Many people in my chain of command have supported me, have said very positive things about me. In these almost 4 years I've been in the armed services, my behavior has been excellent. I have received a good award conduct medal, among other. And at this point, I never thought I would go AWOL. I would never thought I would go to these extremes. But I felt I had no choice. And because I have taken this stand, I am free, even though my body will be probably locked up for a period of time. And it's something I can live with. Something I can't live with is being a participant of war anymore. And at the moment I signed up, I was ready and willing to do anything that was asked of me. However, over time, we as humans change. I have always been a person that questions my purpose in life. I began to reflect upon the things I was experiencing and learning, and ultimately I had to ask myself, is this moral? Is this right? I went to combat, I returned, and that changed me forever. And no one can tell me I'm not an objector to war. I cannot accept that. That is like someone telling any of you that you are not a Christian or you are not a Catholic or you are not Muslim if you assert those beliefs. That's in essence what has happened to me. I have been told that I'm not an objector. I don't think it is acceptable to God for humans to destroy each other in this senseless war. That is why I cannot participate in this war or any war. Some people would call me a coward, and I can tell them I was there and I did my job and I was not afraid, and I cannot be there anymore. I cannot support the destruction of life.
I stand before you today as a very proud wife. My husband is taking a courageous step, and I am extremely proud of him. I'm proud of him because he has been fighting to be recognized as a conscientious objector for 2.5 years. He deployed in 2004 to 2005 as a conscientious objector, and while there, he refused to load his gun. We have followed all the rules. He has followed the whole legal recourse that he has to be recognized as a conscientious objector, yet we've been denied. Twice by the Army, once by court. Knowing the kind of man that he is, I just knew the pain he was in. Because I can't imagine my husband putting a person in a body bag, closing the zipper, and then discarding them in the back like if they were trash. So I knew my husband was not well. And that was the beginning of it. That was 2 weeks into his deployment. He told me one time that he was out on a patrol and all the soldiers are required to point their guns at checkpoints to cars, and he saw 2 little girls in the back of the car with bulging eyes that were terrified, and he said, "What am I doing?" He didn't have any bullets in his gun, but the girls didn't know that. My girls are very strong. They wrote him a letter, and at the bottom of the letter, they put on there, "We are strong. We will get through this. Never forget that." And they're only 11.
I feel sad looking at all the crosses and them telling us, like one said, "I love you, Daddy." And I couldn't imagine if my dad was dead. He's like the glue that puts us all together, and that he like really like changes our family, and I think he just makes us stronger.
I had just arrived in Iraq, and it was 4 in the morning, and we heard one of our sergeants screaming, "Wake up, wake up, we have casualties." The first one had his legs missing and an arm. Initially, we thought he was a KIA, a killed in action. He still had a pulse. His face was severely burned. Within an instant, the ground was filled with blood, and this unique smell I'll never forget filled the air. Within seconds, another young man was brought to us, and he was put on the floor. He was an African-American young man, and I was the only one available, so I tended to him, and he didn't have a pulse. That moment was just so dramatic for me. I was tending to the first one, and a PA saw me, a physician's assistant came to me, and he said, "You have to stop. You have to stop. You have to take him to the back." And then it came to me. He had passed away, but it wasn't a reality for me. I just couldn't accept it. Then I was asked to take him outside. Outside, I was asked to put him in a body bag. I saw his face, and I just felt so much pain. You know, all the hopes, all the dreams that a person has, over in one instant. I was asked to carry his body and put it in a body bag and zip it. Life, so precious, so valuable, and so fragile, over like that. I just couldn't accept it. That memory, that smell, will be a sad reminder of what war is really all about.
When someone dies or is injured, the soldiers are not allowed to call home. They didn't say who the soldiers were. And so I didn't know if it was Agustin or not, and I hadn't heard from him, and the anguish that I felt was horrible. And then finally, he snuck on a computer and instant messaged me. And I'll never forget that message, because he said, 2 soldiers have died. And I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "Yes, can't be on the computer. I love you. I'll talk to you soon, as soon as I can." And then he ended it with, "I'm scarred for life." And I remember just sitting there and saying, I'm scarred for life. And being out here, it's overwhelming. And I saw this message out there that nearly brought me to my knees. One that said, "I miss you, Daddy." And it was in a handwriting that seemed like it was a little child that wrote it. Well, I was walking out here with my girls, and we were discussing one of these could have been Daddy.
They're killing us, we're killing them. This is what it's really about. You know, there's many reasons why people come in. There's many reasons, you know, you want college money. You're trying to get away from a bad neighborhood. You're tired of your parents. These different problems are still going to be there after the military. I believe it is one of the greatest tragedies of our lifetime that we use war in an attempt to solve problems. We need to stand. We need to find ways of improving this. This is how I make my stand, and I thank all of you for being here and supporting me. Thank you.
Thank you.